All right, everyone, welcome back to the Off Court Podcast, the paddle podcast covering all your paddle needs. As you know, my name is Hugh, always joined by
Connor. What's up, guys?
We are your hosts. Welcome to the last episode of the year.
We made
the
it.
Season and the year. We made it.
I know, right?
As you can see, we've kitted out the studio today a little bit.
And if you didn't notice, we're channeling our inner Tapias here. You want to see it here? There we go. There we go, boys.
We got the beast.
No, I don't know if you can hear us, but there we go.
In honor of, obviously, Tapia becoming number one
and
winning the Barcelona Finals. Also, new present for the pod. You've noticed we have a new racket.
Does anyone know who signed that one?
It is not just a regular racket.
It's been touched by a player. If anyone can tell, that is the signature of Ale Galan, which Hugh picked up back in Dubai P1 and managed to get meters away in front of him. And he signed a racket for us for our podcast. So thank you, Ale Galan. and thank you, Tapia, as well, for blessing us. And hopefully we get some of your specialties. We will definitely be smashing from the back of the court every time when we wear this top. But yeah, guys.
It's feeling a bit, I don't know if... Do you wear this on a Playtomic game? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Is it too much?
I think on a rocking up in the Tapia is like the equivalent
will we embarrass ourselves? You know what I mean?
The number 7 football top or something like that. Yeah. Or number 10 for Messi.
Yeah.
We got to believe in ourselves.
It's a risk.
And
but
who knows?
Maybe it's some like powers that I feel like, this feels nice.
It does, yeah.
It might give you some
a little tight on me, but it feels like I ate Tapia maybe.
My wrist is feeling very loose,
yeah,
if you know what I mean, you know?
I'm going to be pulling the scorpion shot if anyone saw that. That was absolutely nuts. But look, guys, Barcelona Finals. We have been anticipating this for weeks now, and we got it all. It was honestly awesome, man. You know, courts were a little bit faster this year, but we're going to run through the whole of the Barcelona Finals. We kind of cherry-picked it a little bit on the storylines we want to cover. But if you didn't manage to watch it, sit down with us, grab a snack, chill with us, and you're going to get the full scoop here.
We're also going to be looking at, after going through the games, the whole tournament, we're going to be looking at 2026.
Oh, yeah.
What's that season looking like? What are the changes in pairings? Since we've got quite a few. Some question marks there as well.
Yeah.
So
some are just dropping live right now as we're recording this episode. So
we're going to get into that. Wherever you're listening from, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it.
Exactly.
The Barcelona Finals. We went to the place where the season ends every year. And slow courts.
Yes.
Slowish courts. Not as slow as last year.
Yeah, last year was a lot colder, apparently.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You were eating hot dogs in the cold, watching like 9 hours of paddle every day. So courts were a little bit faster here this time, which I kind of appreciate as well. But still, we got the long build-up in the rallies. Yeah. We're kicking off the episode with Coello Tapia versus Leal Bergamini, a quarterfinal showdown, which was a walk in the park. I mean, obviously, number ones.
We've got the top 16 players going into this, top 8 pairs. The lower ranked, the pair 7 and 8 are going to be facing some absolute monsters right off the bat. It's the Barcelona Finals. It's, the pressure's on. It's the first time for Leal being in Javi Leal being in the Barcelona Finals, which is huge for him.
Really, it's a huge accomplishment getting to the Barcelona Finals for these guys.
But
as well.
Obviously, they went in with there's pressure, and I'm sure they were feeling nervous, especially Leal. It was an easy, as you said, 6-2, 6-2.
Yeah. 14 unforced errors for Leal.
14 unforced errors for Leal, which shows his kind of like,
Plus,
nervousness.
You're up against the Golden Boys.
Yeah.
Not much more to say, really.
Yeah. I mean, 31 winners for Tapia Coello, 10 unforced errors versus 22 and 16, and 4 break points for Tapia Coello. Pretty easy win there for the Golden Boys.
Not too much to deduce. Also, like kind of a mirror side if we swiftly move on to Galán Chingotto, Gonzalez Guerrero, who also lost 6-0, 6-4. Another...
First finals for Guerrero as well.
Exactly. So we have to take our hats off there, but at the same time, easy walk in the park for Coello Tapia and Chingalan to make it to the semi-finals. Yeah. But we do have a juicier quarterfinals. We are moving with pace, but we're going to sink our teeth into Stupa Di Nenno, Lebron Augsburger. And revenge has never tasted so sweet, guys, because this was it was a fun one to watch.
It was a fun one. It was a bit of a crazy game for many reasons. I mean, the final result was 6-2, 6-4.
Yes.
For Stupa Di Nenno. I don't think it Well, it kind of reflects the match, but in a weird way, it doesn't, right? So we got Stupa's revenge on LeBron, if you want. And I think the first thing I just want to say right off the bat, I don't know if you agree with me. I saw Stupa. I just saw him loose, you know?
Yeah.
They call him, his AKA, you know, is El Papelito, which means like the little paper, because he's like flimsy like that, you know? And he like moves all over the place. And for the first time in a long time, I saw him being a little paper floating in the wind, loose, confident, trying to play his game. Why?
Maybe because LeBron wasn't breathing down his neck, staring at him with daggers in his eyes. Like, this is exactly why you need a partner that supports you, man. And to go up against...
Who better to do that than
Mr. Cool, man. He's just like too cool, man. They can just complement each other. Obviously, we've seen them play in the past together. And it was great to watch Stupa play. Probably like some of the best paddle he's played in a while.
Very consistent pair, no? Stupa Di Nenno. I mean, unfortunately, you guys all know, we're going to get into this later, but they just played like 2 tournaments at the end of the season.
Yeah.
They will be separating in 2026. They won't be playing together anymore, but it was just nice to see the Super Pibes
back for a little
again.
bit.
How like confident they are, the chemistry they have. You know, they didn't really need that much time to get into each other's groove because they've played together for so many years, right?
They knew what's up. But also, if you flip it on the other side of the court, Lebron and Augsburger definitely have some things to iron out. I think court conditions don't really necessarily complement this tournament for them and their play style. But I'll be honest, they look like a bit of a mess out there. They weren't playing together. They were disjointed. And, you know, we want to pick that up a little bit and get into it. You know, it seemed like Augsburger was glued to the net, which...
Exactly. Yes.
You know, didn't cater to...
Which is,
them.
look, I think it's a good... It doesn't mean it's a bad strategy. We know why he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's, number one, trying to bait the lob on him so he can then use his best weapon. And then he just has that... And obviously, he's really got on the smash... But he's also, his play style is close to the net volleys, suffocation, right?
Yeah.
With Lebron being a very good player from the back of the court and then trying to set that up for Augsburger.
Yeah.
But, as you said, number one, it feels disjointed. It feels like they're not listening to each other very well.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the unforced errors from Augsburger this time around was what
it's the
like,
downfall,
killed them,
really.
you
Yeah,
know?
man.
And we're looking at 12 unforced errors for Augsburger.
Yeah, bro.
8 from Stupa, 2 from Di Nenno, 9 from LeBron.
It also just seemed that Augsburger didn't want to pick up on any of the tactics that LeBron and even their coach wanted to push, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like he wasn't listening. It's like he's too stubborn in his own head to be like, okay, look, this isn't working. We gotta reroute.
And
here.
not just that. There was like a clash. They were like they were debating about, like, it wasn't that he wasn't even listening. Is that he said, no, I think the blocks are working.
Yeah.
And LeBron and the coach were like, brother, they are not.
6'2", 6'4", buddy.
we're watching it. How can you think that? So there was a bit of they were disjointed there as well. And the coach fairly quickly, when he saw that that they have their strategy, which they're trying out. Maybe 2026 it changes. They definitely need to do something about it. Whole Augsburger going up, LeBron staying back. But even the coach was telling them, lob Di Nenno down the line to Augsburger, so that then you either have to block a straight overhead from Di Nenno,
right?
Or Di Nenno's gonna have to play cross court to LeBron, and then LeBron can there start to build up the point and set you up.
Yes.
If we're lobbing Stupa, you're gonna get his Vibora cross court towards you, Augsburger, and you're just not blocking those because they're very fast. They're good. And
that's what generates the mistakes, really, from Augsburger as well.
Literally, I mean, it was mainly blocks. It was mainly, again, same as the last tournament. We also talked about this in our last episode, how they were just finding his feet really well.
Yeah.
And with Stupa as well, you have to the lob on Stupa has to be more on the T side rather than his left shoulder. Because if it's that, then he's got that incredible rulo, right?
I mean, yeah.
So
you kind of picked up on there, but now we're in the winter break. These guys have, I think, a lot to work on before the season starts in February, because, they felt like they were running around like headless chickens a little bit, which is harsh. Don't get me wrong. I know there's like 3 tournaments under their belt that they played together. But if these guys really want to stick together for 2026 and make it work, they cannot play like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have such a bad time next year. And it's a matter of course, the ticking time bomb when they're both going to get pissed off at each other. And, that's going to be the end of the pairing if they don't work on their chemistry.
Well, I think Augsburger as well just needs to learn a bit of patience. Yeah. Which, if anything, LeBron can give that to him. Patience in terms of, I'm talking like on court in terms of the game.
Yeah, I got you.
LeBron's, as we know, amazing. He's got his faults from an emotional standpoint, but when it comes to IQ, paddle, inside the court, he's one of the best, right? So yeah, I mean, the also thing I wanted to ask you, it kind of reminds me a little bit, that play style, to the Tapia Coello play style, right?
The aggressive.
Well, the aggressive and the Augsburger going up, right? LeBron staying back with the Coello pushing the net as well, and Tapia staying back. Obviously, Tapia and Coello have been doing this for multiple years now.
They're masters. I
mean, obviously, Coello is better than Augsburger, 100%. And Tapia is better than him as well.
Yep.
But I think that the difference there, is like, why does it work so well for Coello and Tapia? First of all, just pure skill and level, but also it's in the transitions. Yeah. I don't think Augsburger is thinking about his transitions back to front.
No, he's properly. Like, I'm staying at the net. I'm not going anywhere else.
And he's just returning a serve, and wherever that ball goes, he's just going to push either way. And it's like, well, no, because you have to return a specific way in order for you. It's either a well-placed lob that you can block, or a nice chiquita, or, even like to the body, a strong shot to the body that you can then... that they won't be able to attack you on that. It feels like he just returns, and whatever happens, he pushes. Yeah. That's when they find their feet, they find his angles.
Or you see LeBron scrambling at the back a little bit. Yeah. If they play it and it gets past Augsburger, and LeBron has to cover that backside. That's what you notice more when they try and replicate the style from Coello and Tapia, where they look a lot more messier, basically. And they don't have... This is like, they're, as I said, scrambling around, and... Yeah, they don't look that smooth. Coello, Tapia, like he's got the whole backcourt. Tapia's up front. Like they obviously got to work on it.
Well, and Coello on the
at the front too.
At the front, and Coello's forehand. When he's pressuring you is like
the wingspan. He's got it covered.
It's like he's got 70% of the court is his. Yeah, and then the magician Mozart only has to cover the other 30%, and he can do that very easily.
It's absolutely nuts.
We also saw a 55% smash conversion from Augsburger, which isn't. He's usually the biggest smash. I mean, conversion rate. He's got the best one out of every single player. Last year it was like 74% at the end of the season. Right. So 55 was really, it's not really good. It's and poor, begs the question, right? When the court conditions aren't in his favor, what do you think? Is that a like do or die situation?
No, that's their downfall. Yeah. Obviously they got to go away and work the chemistry out between LeBron and Augsburger, but that is Augsburger's downfall here as well. So well known for his smash, aggressive player, but there's so much more to, everything else defensively that Augsburger needs to work on to become, potentially one of the top 3 players in the circuit. And I think he's far from it right now. Yeah. And you can see it when you watch it, and it almost seems like he has like this one solution to everything.
One gear.
Yeah, exactly. And he can go all the way to 7 and smash and play aggressive, but if it's anything in between, he gets stuck. And he doesn't want to change, or he doesn't want to adapt. And that's what we're seeing live. And that's pretty interesting to me, because it's like, you guys haven't spoke about this. You haven't worked on it. You didn't, obviously you got a break now. You did 3 tournaments. But that is your downfall. And if he can cover that and improve on that, they're going to be so much more deadly in the new season, man. So
the good thing, I think, is that's what he only has, the room for improvement is all there is. Yes, right? Because he's still super young. But I think he maybe needs a bit of a mental shift. We've seen a bit of cockiness from him recently. Lebron-esque attitudes coming out. Which I'm
it
like,
will bite them in the
oh
ass,
my
though,
God,
man.
come on, man. Please, please, please don't go down that route. You
I
know?
mean, look, it's going to make the 2026 season even more exciting and so much more to look forward to
Yeah.
because they do have the potential just to push maybe not for number one, but they can put pressure on Galan and Chingotto and, you know, whoever the third and fourth ranked players are next year. But yeah, it's exciting, but they have a lot to work on, basically.
Even on the second set, when they were 3-1 up, they
Yes.
broke them.
Yes, dude,
And then
literally.
just like that, it was like 3 mistakes back to back.
No, yeah, you're done.
It's 3 unforced errors, and then they just break them back again. And I was like, well,
chill, calma,
guys,
calma.
like breathe, you know, like you don't need to. Why are you throwing it away so quickly and so easily?
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, I just think I mean a lot to work on the 2026 season.
No one's perfect, but yeah.
And we're not gonna shit on them and say like they're doomed.
But
and
that's
and
the
it's not gonna
experience
work.
of watching that game.
We
you know
just
what
need
I mean?
to need to give them a bit
Like,
more time.
Hang on, you know they're up against Stupa Di Nenno. Don't get me wrong, absolute legends, defensive beasts. But yeah, you know, you'd like to think that they have the competitive edge over them, but
and that it would be maybe if not like a closer match.
Yeah, they
than
got it in
this,
2
you know.
sets, man.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a good enough performance, especially in the Barcelona finals. Yeah, court conditions were better for Stupa Di Nenno, but you know, we see them walk away with 2 sets, and they were so happy, man.
Yeah.
You know, to get to a semi-finals, that's what I love the most. And I was just like, Stupa, you know, slept well that night.
Yeah, a little bit of banter as well between LeBron and Stupa at the end there. Let us know what you guys think as well of this new pairing. How do you see
Lebron and
Augsburger, you know, thoughts, feelings. How's 2026 looking?
Yeah, we're super excited, honestly. But yeah, a lot to work on, as we mentioned many times. Another quarterfinal game, which we'll touch on lightly, is Paquito, Sanz, their last game, not last game together because they beat Coki Yanguas in quarterfinals, which, you know, that vibe of that game was interesting because it was two defensive animals as pairings, right? Yeah. And it's kind of this like stalemate on who's going to push all the way and keep the rally going and keep the ball in play.
With a slight, I think, upper edge offensively for Paquito and John Sanz.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 6-2, 7-6. But my like takeaway from this game when I watched it, I was like, it just feels so passive from Coki Yanguas, both from a play style point of view and also an attitude point of view.
Do you think that thing in the back of their head where like this is our last?
I think so, man.
Together.
And I think they were just a bit frustrated. Right. And look, honestly, and I've said this multiple times, Coki for me is probably my favorite player. I love his style, but man, I think he either plays with Cardona or some like crazy lefty, or he needs to find more variety of shot. Like he
needs a smash, man, which he does have.
You can't just play Bandora, transition to the net. Fair enough, good blocking. You need rulos. You need to. I think he needs a bit more variety from my point of view. I don't know what you guys think or what you think, Connor, but yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. You're watching a pairing play that doesn't necessarily have a weapon. They don't have a drive, which is it's harsh to say, but that's what it feels like. Especially you're going up against Paco and Sanz. Like there was so many opportunities where even Yanguas was just an animal running side to side of the court, keeping this ball in play, and you are almost begging for them to finish. Yeah. Finish the point, guys. Like, come on. Like, and that was the most frustrating part. It's like, if you can't hit a winner and get that ball to like die at the back of the court or smash or whatever, you're not doing it right. And, you know, maybe that's why they're splitting up as well, man.
And we can see that like very clearly in the numbers. 36 winners for Navarro Sanz, 25 for Nieto Yanguas, 25 combined is it's just like a massive, it's 11 more winners for Navarro and Sanz. Like, even though, yes, they did 14 unforced errors compared to 18 from Navarro Sanz, but if you can't find those winners, I think it's what, you know, we've talked about this before. There's a balance between, you know, there's Coki Nieto and there's Augsburger.
yeah, exactly. That's the spectrum of
I mean, obviously power, this is like it's more nuanced than that, but you guys know what we mean, right? I think you need to find obviously patience. Don't try and finish the point immediately, Augsburger, but also take a bit more risks. You know, exactly. At least that's my point of view. I was watching it. I was being like, I just wanted to kind of like tell them,
just go for it.
You know, just go for it. Even you know, Yanguas, when he was getting lobs were very good on him, to be fair, especially from Paquito. So he could only like hit that weird scoop gancho weird thing where it's not even a dangerous. It's like a very defensive overhead to just keep the net, you know. So I think they just saw themselves a bit. I don't know what the word is.
Stagnant, maybe, right?
Yeah, stagnant, and I think they just saw themselves overrun by not in a massive way, but like offensively speaking, by Paquito and Sanz.
Sanz got a great smash, you know.
Yeah.
Like he can kill a point.
He did get 20 winners, you know, compared to 10 for Yanguas, 15 for Nieto.
Right.
Navarro with 16 as well, 5 unforced errors only for Paquito Navarro. I mean, the difference was there. Also, just the break points.
I mean, and out of both pairings, you know, just knowing that it's Paquito and Sanz last tournament together, the guys that bring so much energy every time. We spoke very highly of them on our last episode about how they're just like, you know, their tenacity is just like sky high, basically, which is a shame that we're not seeing them stick together for next season. But it brought them to the semifinals and then ended up in a match against Chingalan, you know, and that was also like 6-2, 6-4.
Yeah.
But I was just like, come on, guys. Like, I want them to give them a little bit of everything. But it was kind of the same. I don't know what your thoughts on the semifinals were as well.
Yeah, I mean, they were. It's the results were what we expected. I think.
You got Tapia and Coello. You have Chingalan in the semifinals. Yeah. Especially
we'll get into it when we talk about pairings and stuff. But like Paquito and Sanz, they haven't been playing together that long, but they've done like amazing, like incredible results. Shout out! I think we do need to mention shout out to Paquito Navarro at 36 years old, playing against these
20s
beasts in these like early mid 20s.
Yeah. Absolutely insane.
You know, like 10, 15 years younger than him. And just, you know, showing up and being like, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, I'm here.
He mentioned that, you know, in some of the press conferences before the finals. And I was just like, damn, you know, you kind of forget a little bit that he's like competing. Obviously, he's got like a lot more experience and everything. But really, when it comes to your physical attributes, to compete with some of the youngest players that are performing at their best or maybe near their peak of their career, you got to give hats off to Paquito because, you know, especially when he plays with Sanz, which I'm not too sure why they're splitting up. I don't know. There's no reason behind it.
We'll go into, because I have some. Well, I saw I watched the press conference, so we'll.
Oh, do you want to save it for the?
We'll save it because it's a bit weird.
And
also like juicy. So.
We're moving swiftly. Any notes? Obviously, we're keeping it light on the semifinals, guys, because we want to get right into the finals.
No surprises there.
6-2, 6-4, Paquito Sanz, Chingalan, a 7-5, 6-2 for Tapia Coello versus Stupa Di Nenno.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing.
No shocks, really.
No shocks there, to be honest. I mean, we saw, I think, the domination of the two beasts in both games, respectively. You know, we have Coello, 26 winners and 7 unforced errors, which is crazy. And then for Galan in that semifinal as well, 27 and 9. Clearly, the two dominant players in both of those games when they're locked in. You know, it's so hard. Obviously, one's got Tapia next to him and the other one's got Chingo next to him.
Yeah.
So, and it always comes down to, it's just a combination of things. I mean, if we look at the Tapia Coello Stupa Di Nenno, 44 winners, like compared to 34, 10 more winners for the Golden Boys.
Right.
17 unforced errors versus 21, plus add on top of that 3 break points out of 12 chances they had. So,
yeah, man.
You know, it's just like the numbers are there. The numbers tell you everything. 35 winners for Galán Chingotto. It's exact same as the other semifinal. 25 for Navarro Sanz. Exactly the same. 10 winner difference.
Exactly.
A few unforced errors as well. And then just more break points, 4 out of 11. So it's kind of like the same.
It's textbook stuff here.
It just shows how
the gap,
the step above that number ones and number twos have over the rest.
Yeah.
They can still compete. You know, we've seen Chingalan and Coello and Tapia this season as well. You know?
Yes, of course.
Even semi-recently, we've seen them against the ropes against other pairings, you know.
It happens. It's going to happen every now and then, but really in the finals like this, they can hold their ground and they can breathe and they can get through. Like there's it would have been a shock if the results went the other way, really. But like at the end of the day, this is the storyline that we know for the whole season. You know, they're defending their first and second place. They just want to get through to the finals and probably spend the least amount of time on that court, so they're fresh and ready for the finals, basically. Which
it's like, let's get this over and done with, and let's go to what the game that actually matters. Yeah,
exactly. I'm sure they're a lot nicer than that. Yeah. It's and that's it. And then we get to the finals here, which is our final El Clásico of the year.
The game of all games. The final of all finals. Everything came together.
Come on.
Number ones, number twos. El Clásico. Not just that, but it was the Clásico of the Clásicos.
Yes. And maybe one of the best El Clásicos I've seen.
I mean, I was going to say, I don't know what your opinion is, what you guys think. For me, I think the best game, the best match of the season.
Third set tiebreak. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that,
It was
right?
an absolute roller coaster. And not just, I think it was a very entertaining match to watch. Keeping in mind that these two pairs, we see them all the time play against each other.
Yeah.
It's final after final that can sometimes feel a bit like copy paste. The strategies, the same points, you feel like you've seen them 17 times before. Exactly the same. But this one felt, at least to me, like a bit a bit different.
Got the first set.
I was I like edge of my seat. And we didn't see the same kind of
pattern.
The same patterns repeating, which is, lately Coello and Tapia just break them early.
Yeah.
They take the first set, and then Chingalan are really close to getting the second, but then they lose 7-5 kind of thing.
No, the boys were fighting, man. Yeah. And they were holding on. And when they secured that first set, I was like, okay,
we're on.
7-6 as well. You know what I mean?
They don't usually win the tie breaks against Coello and Tapia
I know,
at the same time.
Considering there was 2 tie breaks in this set, which is actually kind of crazy to say out loud. But yeah, every time Tapia and Coello step into a tie break, especially against Chingalan, it's kind of like you have this feeling in your stomach where you're like, oh man, you guys are just way too cool. The pressure is so not, or it doesn't visibly see like it's on you. You know what I mean? Like it is super cool to see Chingalan break them.
Man, it's upsetting.
Like you're tired of it. Hugh's tired of it.
It's not that I'm like tired of it, but I'm like it's just like it can't be. You cannot be this. Why is it always? Why do you always? When it comes down to when the precise moment you need to,
they do it.
Why are you always so good? And why? I mean, I know why they are because they're amazing, they're talented, they're the best paddle players in the world, and they train like crazy. But it does get, as a spectator and as someone who I genuinely want Chingalan to win.
Yeah,
I love Coello and Tapia. Obviously, they deserve everything they have, but just from a, let's go with the underdogs kind of thing rather than. It's not that I'm a huge fan of Chingalan, but I'm like, if I had to choose someone, I would probably go for Chingalan just because.
Yeah, you want to go against
for a bit of more excitement. It's because usually they lose,
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating, and I can't even imagine if you're a diehard Chingalan fan.
Yeah, right.
It must be so.
Hearing like Coello and Tapia be like, if we want to stay together until we retire, basically. And I'm like, this is gonna be like a decade-long saga of just the number ones. And I mean, that's a rivalry in sport, though. So I kind of I'm hyped for them at the same time. Like I do want the storylines to change, or a little bit of like a competitive gap to close. But we've already said, that gap between number 1 and number 2 isn't that far off. Yeah, okay, they won by a few more thousand points. But
imagine if they'd won. Acapulco,
Chingalan, and this goes down to the wire.
This final would have been the deciding match for the number 1 spot.
You don't write better stories than that. That would have been, like a
absolute cinema.
It would have been absolute cinema. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but I think we're in the trajectory now where the rivalry between Chingalan and Coello and Tapia has never been closer before. So I am literally on the edge of my seat for the next season.
And they're both confirmed, obviously, as you guys know, for 2026.
Can you imagine Coello and Tapia split 2026? I was like, what the fuck? It's like, we're too good. We completed paddle, man. We've literally won every tournament. Now. We've won the 4 They won the 4 majors?
No, they didn't.
That was an unclaimed stat for Jemmy, Delphi and Gemma.
Exactly.
But they had a lot to take off on their CVs, as you want to say it like that, and they got
Christmas is looking pretty boring for them. They already got like they got all the gifts. The gifts already.
Coello's on his way back to Miami to see Wayne Boyce. Get ready at Reserve Paddle Club and chill. Or train like beasts. I have no idea what they're going to end up doing, man. But yeah, I mean, look, if we want to get into the stats here.
Let's get into like a bit of game analysis.
Should we talk about Chingo first?
Yeah,
You
let's do Chingo. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, the whole season's been like this sort of like back and forth narrative of is Chingo, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself too much, but is Chingo right for Galan? I think we all know that Chingo is right for Galan.
Yeah.
He's the best player to have on the right side at the moment. There is no other better player to have.
For Galan, yes.
Yeah, for Galan, yeah. And, you know, seeing his overheads, his Viboras, like, if you're not, you know, watching this whole tournament, you know, seeing people play on the right side, hitting that cross-court Vibora, no one does it like Chingo. Like, no one really does it like him. And he's mastered that shot. And, you know, this isn't breaking news or anything, but I think he does deserve a little bit of, like, appreciation, because I am going to go into the fact that he made so many unforced errors.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're more of a traditional style pairing. Chingo kind of doing the setup work, and Galan's going to finish.
Yeah.
You know, not to forget that Galan got 48 winners this game, which is...
we'll get into that now.
We'll still focus on Chingo here. But yeah, that was the downfall for me a little bit on the you know, there's got to be a problem somewhere, right? And
that was
Chingo.
Unfortunately for this time, it was Chingo.
Yeah.
Why? I think he's pushed to the limit every single time. He's obviously playing against these beasts. He's got the physical disadvantage in some aspects, if you want to call it that way, you know, like he cannot smash like the other three do.
Yeah,
I mean he's got resources
every now and then.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean he's got resources for it as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, 100%. But a fast Vibora, even if it's an absolute bullet, won't cut it anymore against Coello, especially, and Tapia as well. He's forced to the limit, and he's forced to play really difficult shots, which then means he's taking more risks, which means that sometimes he can then miss more, right?
And that's it, because the level of perfection that Chingo needs to tap into is very, like, in a very small region for him, right? Where if he can get into that flow state, whatever
and he
you want to
sometimes
call
does.
It, yeah, no, it's amazing to see, and we've seen it multiple times. He's very capable of doing it, but to be able to consistently stay in that zone, you're asking a lot from an athlete. Difficult. You know what I mean? And that's the downfall, really, of Chingalan here, right? Like, you know, they got the second. They lost the second set 6-3, man, and that was a bit like that went fast to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, bro.
That was I think as well. Coello and Tapia just kind of like switching on, being like, okay, well,
we're sorry, we forgot we're at the Barcelona Finals against Chingalan.
Let's
just quickly win this, man. We're totally good. Third set tiebreak. Yeah, no, we're good, man. We're good. Like let's just go win this. It was too good, man. But oh my gosh,
you touched on it briefly before. I think this is the highlight of the entire game. Galan
48 winners
with a personal career record, 48 winners.
Yeah, insane
in one game.
Insane, dude.
Absolutely ridiculous.
12
unforced errors. We're looking at Tapia with 35 and 14 unforced errors. Coello with 36 and 10 unforced errors. Mind you, these stats are impeccable as well, like really good from Coello and Tapia. But Galan with 48, 12 unforced errors, making it, and if you look at it, see how Tapia and Coello are sharing basically like 50-50 winners, which is, you know, normal. 71 winners for both teams.
Yeah.
With Galan being able to, we're talking about winners here, so we're not taking anything away from Chingo. I mean, he's got 23 with 20 unforced errors, which we just, you know, talked about, but he is able to match or bring in that extra difference in his team to match Coello and Tapia's aggression.
I mean, obviously...
And with his smash, quote-unquote, beat Coello and Tapia's smash combined kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, isn't that amazing? But also, there's a part of me that I'm like, fuck, this sucks, man, because we're watching Galan play probably some of the best paddle he's ever played. He's playing like an absolute animal.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Take our Christmas hats off to him, man. But like, it's insane. But still, there's a part of me which goes, well, that wasn't enough. You know, like,
which is so frustrating.
That sucks, man.
Imagine.
Like, it does. Yeah. I'm like, you are playing the best you've ever played, or that we've seen in a long time, maybe this whole season, and you still couldn't pull it off. Like, yes, the match was close. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's something sad in me where I'm like, oh man,
there's that
we're cooked, dude.
There's that expression in Spanish which paddle players use a lot. That goes, jugamos como nunca, perdimos como siempre, which means we played unreal, but we lost like we always do. In Spanish, it makes more sense because it's like the it's like
reversed or
opposite words that mean the opposite. That have the opposite meaning. So it's kind of like but it's that kind of what feels like for Galan is like Galan, and obviously like Chingo here. It's because I don't want to like throw him under the bus. Yes, he was the weaker link, but it wasn't like his fault that they lost kind of thing. But like if we just pack them together, both Chingo and Galan, and think about like we can, as you said, we can do everything. Yeah, and Galan has 26 smashes converted out of 35 attempts, which means a 74% smash conversion. Yeah. In Barcelona Finals.
Yeah. Insane. Hello. Yeah.
And on top of 26 winners he got purely from smashing.
Right.
He also has to you have to add up 20. You have to add 22 more winners that didn't come from a smash to complete his total of 48
What
winners.
An animal. MVP of the game. Does that count? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think so. I mean, look at the graph here.
Look at the performance level, man. Like
he's way above Coello and Tapia, who are both consistent together.
And wait, just to fight on Chingo's side, just because they play a little bit more traditional style, Chingo's more defensive. You know, it doesn't mean Chingo was just not in the game the whole time. He played amazing too. I just wanted to point that out as well.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show.
No, yeah.
Like imagine, looking at the graph here, you guys are going to have it here on the stats. If Chingo was just a bit above, or he was on par with Coello and Tapia there, then that could have been the difference, you know. And the thing is, Chingo, as we said, is 100% capable of doing that. He just had a bad game.
Yeah, no, I think that kind of brings us perfectly to our next point here, because this is kind of proof that the gap between Coello and Tapia and Chingalan isn't that far.
Yes,
really we've said it before, but the devil's in the details here, right? Like that one break point that they have off them, the one couple more unforced errors that they had over Chingalan, is what got them through to that third set tiebreak. You're also going into a tiebreak with Coello and Tapia, who I can't say it in any other way. It's almost like they don't care that it's a tiebreak in a third set.
And it's like it's textbook every single time, which is what I was saying before about the frustration that I felt as a spectator, being like, I know they were going into the tiebreak, and I'm like, I kind of already know that Coello and Tapia are probably going to win the next 5 points.
Yeah, man.
Because they, as you said, feel like they don't give a fuck. I don't know if they feel like that, or they just, or that's what they.
That's the vibes they give off,
vibe
which is scary. Imagine you're going into a third set tiebreak, Barcelona Finals, and you look over to the court and they're like, "Yeah, we got this, man. We've done this like a million times."
Tapia, like the Coello served, Chingo returned down the line, a decent, not an amazing, but a decent return.
Yeah.
Tapia just does his like signature. Cross-court backhand volley into Galan's mesh.
Yeah.
And then just died.
Yeah.
He got like 2 or 3 points like that just in the tiebreak.
It was tough watching, man. I'll be honest. The unforced errors that were made in that tiebreak, every time Chingo put the ball in the net, which was, I think, 2 or 3 times in a tiebreak, that's going to cover it. Like, that sucks. And then you see the game slip away very quickly.
Very quickly.
And that's the tough part, because you spend, that game was 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Yeah, it's long, man.
And it was very neck and neck. And then maybe to see it shift in about 10 minutes, and you go, okay.
But even then, I will argue that it was like they were 6-2 up or something. They had like 4 or 5 match points in the last tiebreak.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, Chingalan defended a match point in the second set to break them when Coello and Tapia were up 5-4 to get the 5-5. And then, in the third set, to 5-5 to then force the tiebreak. Even in the tiebreak, when Chingalan were down 6-2, 6-3, I can't remember, Coello and Tapia having 4 or 5 tournament points.
Yes. That's legendary.
They clawed it back, and then, even that's why you said it, the devil is in the details. It comes down to millimetric details. The Tapia goes, it was 6-4 to... Golden Boys. They were serving to take the tournament. Tapia does the jump smash.
Yes, I saw that.
Galan gets there. He does get his racket for the dunk, but it just so happens that instead of touching the underneath his racket, it just touches the edge.
Yeah.
He sends it to the glass, and then that's done. If he'd gotten that dunk, which he could have, because it was literally like this far away. it would have been a 6-5
Yep.
tournament point, but on Chingalan serve.
Exactly.
They could have gotten the 6-6 fairly easily, and then that was a different thing.
And I guess we'll never know because
I
it
guess
didn't
we'll
happen.
never know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just trying to prove the
Yes,
point you were
exactly.
making of how
It's tied. That could have been the fork in the road where Chingalan could have won the Barcelona finals. But in this world, in the universe that we live in, Coello and Tapia were crowned Barcelona champions.
And even like just before we end this final, like as you were saying, 71 winners each. It's just one more break point for Tapia and Coello.
Yeah.
13 chances for Coello Tapia, 11 for Chingalan. Just so happens that they just broke them once.
Yeah.
One more time,
Yeah.
extra, 3 instead of 2. And then obviously, I mean, the unforced errors, there is a semi-big gap there between Tapia Coello and Galán Chingo.
They're so good.
But I mean, you can see here the numbers show how in the final of the finals, the best game in the world of paddle, it's close.
Yeah, and that's incredible, and that's all we asked for, really, in terms of that. I don't know if that's what your experience is. We're the two guys wearing Tapia t-shirts, but we're saying we wish Chingalan won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're getting everything really, and we can't complain about it. And all we can look forward to is next year, which obviously we're going to talk about that at the end of the episode. We can't forget about the women's side of the paddle.
Yes, let's get into that.
We want to go through, and we've picked out our favorite moments. Fernandez and Gonzalez, knowing that this is their last tournament together. Which we'll speak about pairs after this, but they had everything to give, really, and they went all the way, man. Really, taking out Sánchez and Josemaría.
Yeah, what was the road to the finals?
Let's take it down a gear. I'm excited, but they took out Alonso and Jensen. Is it Jensen or Jensen? Jensen in the quarterfinals. They beat Sánchez Josemaría in the semifinals, which I want to touch on now as well, because I want to speak about Sánchez and Josemaría. The last dance, the legendary pair. The emotions were high for these guys. Their press conference was honestly a beautiful moment because they shared a few tears with each other, speaking about the road that they had, the last 3 years that they played together, or 2 years.
I think 3. Yeah, 3 at least.
Yeah, 3 years together.
3. Yeah.
Being number one, and obviously they got dethroned this year with Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea. Really similar, maybe with Coello and Tapia and Chingalan. Not that far behind them. It was almost there was flip flopping so much this year, but I don't know. I think it was somewhat of a mature decision to say, hey, let's.
I think they've just reached
their maximum capacity,
a ceiling, if you want to call it that, and also not just that, but. We have to remember that it's not just up to them. They are at the mercy as well of what happens to their rivals.
Yes.
What's happening there? What pairs are changing?
Yeah.
What players are coming up? Like new players, these young women coming up, like the Usteros, Martina Calvos, etc.
Exactly.
That are gonna start pushing them, and it's that thing of getting to number one is very difficult. Keeping number one is even harder, right?
Yeah, 100%, man. And even I'm excited for Josemaría, because just a small note on Josemaría. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've definitely noticed, because she's a right side player, but she's a lefty. She has become so much more aggressive when it comes to her play style in the last few tournaments.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm getting too excited here, but when she starts and pairs up with Bea Gonzalez next season, that is a duo I'm very, very excited for. So I am sad that Sánchez and Josemaría are splitting up. They have a lot of love and respect for each other. I've loved watching them play. It
would have been amazing to see their last dance as taking the Barcelona finals. But
they took third
unfortunately,
place. Which is nice, and it was very emotional for them. To switch it back to Fernandez and Gonzalez. They went to the finals with Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea, which is like this rivalry where my guttural instinct now on paper is that is the one pair that can give Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea a hard time. And we saw it come into action, really, man. Like, it was honestly maybe one of the craziest games I've watched in a long time. Yeah. Not from a result turnout, but from an emotional side, it was absolutely nuts, man. Because one of the coolest.
What happened? It was
was to give you a little bit of side context here. Bea Gonzalez, her grandfather passed away literally 2 days before she was stepping into the finals. And she made a nice post about it on Instagram, sharing her love and her experiences and the support that
you could see in the post-match interview how emotional she was as well.
Oh yeah, it's to be able to go on stage, perform in front of a huge crowd that's broadcasted to millions around the world, and to also perform at your best when, external things like this happen in your life, that is something that you have to try and mentally battle with yourself.
Yeah.
And what we saw on that court was a huge mental battle with Bea Gonzalez, right? Because they took that first set. They took the first set. Super fine, no easy. Let's get the score up here.
Yeah.
They lost the second set 6-0. And that was something where you could see on Bea Gonzalez's face that she completely locked out of the game.
Yeah.
She was not focused. She completely dropped off. And it was amazing to see her.
And she kind of had to take...
Yes. Okay, so there's some slight drama here, right? Because they only have a certain amount of time. When they take their break in between games, they only have, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Bea Gonzalez went immediately into the back room after losing the set 6-0. Now they're going into a third set where anyone could win this. The pressure's back on them. They could have, breathed, kept it calm, but they didn't. They got bageled in a second set.
Yeah.
Bea Gonzalez gone for 10 minutes in the back room, in the locker room. Everyone's kind of going, what's going on? What's going on? Some people were saying there should have been a time violation on Bea Gonzalez's side. Okay, snitches
I think
get
probably
stitches.
Gemma and Delphi were giving her some grace, knowing her situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
And, it is... No one will ever know what was going on in those 9 to 10 minutes, what Bea Gonzalez was saying to herself. We don't know if anyone was in that room with her. But she had to really 180 her brain, flip the switch, and she so showed up for the last and final set, which I think really echoes this is a great moment in sports, but to watch an athlete use their mental power to break through. You also have your partner, Claudia Fernandez, who sat out there on the benches for 9 minutes too.
Yeah.
Don't get that. You're kind of wondering, is everything okay?
Yeah.
What's going on? What state will you come back in for this third and final set of the Barcelona Finals? And to see the Coello Padel, Bea Gonzalez.
It's also absolute cinema kind of vibes.
No, it is, man.
It was super emotional. It feels like she kind of drew her grandfather's energy from high above and was like, I know he would want me to be here, give my all, play my best, and if if it's possible, win this as well. Take the
exactly.
Take the final.
Exactly. It was maybe I'm sure it was an homage to her grandfather. You know those years that she was training from a kid and everything like that up until now, and to winning the Barcelona Finals. And I'm sure, she would have loved if that he was there. You know what I mean? That's what makes this such an emotional, cinematic piece of sport that we have to hold on to, and that's what makes events like this memorable. So I really take my hats off to Claudia Fernandez and Bea Gonzalez because they absolutely took it round.
They've had a great run this last quarter of the season.
Yeah,
they have been showing up, winning majors, Barcelona Finals, putting the top two pairs against the ropes, beating them multiple times in a row as well. Shame that they're gonna split
up.
Oh my god! Well,
which sucks.
We'll get into it now, but before we say anything else, something that we haven't touched on, which is, it's a stupid detail, but I think the new pair, World Cup pairs logo you wear on your chest.
I didn't see it. I missed it. What did they wear?
So Chingalan and Adi and Paula, on their kits now, they're allowed to have this golden
it's like when you win the World Cup.
So right here in the middle of the chest, they have this golden stamp that looks very neat. They can wear it for the next 2 years.
Sick.
Even individually, when they separate, Adi and Paula will still wear it. I think in every game, their kits are now changed to have this.
Cool.
And it's like a little mark that you won
the Barcelona Finals. The World Cup pairs. Yeah.
For 2 years until the next one comes up. But little detail, but I thought it was kind of nice. Yeah.
Look, should we get into the new pairings?
Yeah.
Should we touch on stats actually really quick?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do
run
that.
Through there.
Look, we were just talking about Bea Gonzalez, her story, her movie final. 31 winners.
Yes.
Compared to 12 unforced errors.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
It is more unforced errors, but 31 winners is crazy. And it is 3 sets, but doesn't matter. Still a big number, especially on the women's side.
Yeah.
Bea with 13, Tiriaia with 12. Fair enough. They were better on unforced errors. But it's that difference of, I think, Gonzalez and Fernandez were just risking more.
Yep.
Which means they got more winners, but at the same time they missed more. But the difference in winners just kind of took them one step further. 26 for Tiriaia and Bea, 45 for Gonzalez Fernandez. It's a 20-point difference in winners, which is massive.
Yeah.
And even though they have 28 unforced errors and 13 for Triay and Brea, it was still a bit extra. Even though they did break them, Triay and Brea, once more than Gonzalez and Fernandez.
Yes. Look, just to go back to Bea here, though, like if Bea didn't have that drop off in the second set, they would have taken it in 2, to be honest, and they would have just completely pushed off Gemma and Delphi, which is much easier to say than actually do. Yeah. So, hats off to those guys. Amazing tournament. I'm so happy for them.
And look at the smashes as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got only 7 attempts from Gemma, 3 from Brea. I mean, I know that. Let's just probably, for the sake of it, compare Triay and Gonzalez, who are, the only ones who actually really smash in these games. 16 attempts for Gonzalez compared to 7 from Gemma Triay, and 12 converted smashes. Big numbers.
Exactly.
Big numbers, and it just goes to show, if you mix this with Paula Josemaría, I think you've got...
Yes, which brings us on to our next segment. New pairs. We have 2 months to the next season.
What's 2026 looking like? What's confirmed? What are the rumors? What are some maybe predictions that we could do, that you guys could do as well? Let's get into it.
Let's get into the new pairings, 2026. Yes. What is that looking like? Musical chairs already, a lot of pairings that we've kind of mentioned already in this episode, but let's take a deep dive into this.
Let's start maybe in the women's, because we just finished with that. We were talking about it a little bit.
Yes.
So we know, the separations are coming from the number twos.
Previously,
Josemaría and Sánchez are separating, and their new partners are confirmed. Ari Sánchez is going to be playing with Ustero, the young, new, exciting player, and Josemaría is going to be pairing up with the Pearl with Bea Gonzalez.
Yeah, very exciting pair.
Very exciting.
For both, but mostly Bea Gonzalez and Paula Josemaría.
I think those two are going to do some real damage.
That is like absolute pure power on the women's side. As I said, I've kind of picked up on it, but I've noticed that Josemaría is definitely...
It's like a Coello Tapia.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It is a little bit.
I just realized it is.
Yeah. So it's going to be very exciting, and I hope they play out very well, because they could actually push for number 1 now, which is what we all want for it, to close that competitive gap between the top 5-6 players or teams. And I think that's great. I do feel bad for Claudia Fernandez, though, because that is still, there's a question mark on who she's pairing up with. But, just for, similar maybe to Coki and John Sanz last year, they win the Barcelona Finals together and then they split up. Claudia Fernandez and Bea Gonzalez win the Barcelona Finals. They were the only other pairing to really put pressure on the number 1s, Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea. But now they're also splitting up, and I'm like, I get it. You get a call from...
It was the ripple effect of, I think, Josemaría just picked up the phone and called Bea, being like, do you want to play together? Yeah. Even though she's doing amazing with Claudia being like one of, top 2, top 3 forehands in the world.
Yep.
I think you just have to
do it,
to take that chance and be like, yes, Paula, I will play with you 100%.
We're locked in.
I mean, that leaves Ari Sánchez in an interesting position. She's choosing to stay with a left-handed player with Ustero, which I think is good for her. I think that's where she thrives, because she is kind of like a Coki kind of backhand player, Ari Sánchez, not being super aggressive, not having like a massive smash.
Traditional play style.
Paula Josemaría being very aggressive, and Ustero being probably the only girl on tour who's, going for like crazy behind the line smashes. Yeah. I feel like she's a trailblazer, Ustero.
She's changing the landscape of
She's changing the landscape, and I'm excited to see how she will do with a master sensei like Ari Sánchez, Magic Ari. So I think those are good. Again, going back to what you said, that means that leaves Claudia Fernández and Araujo.
Yep.
Up for grabs or free.
Marks.
It's not confirmed. We don't know if they might. I mean, I could see them pairing up. I don't think there's really a better option for Claudia.
That's
other
why.
than-
That's
than
why I'm
Araujo.
like, this kind of sucks, because your Bea Gonzalez left, and then it's one of these situations like, well, there's no one better. Look,
I don't. look, I don't-
Araujo's dope. Don't
I
get me
don't
wrong.
dislike Araujo Fernandez.
Yeah.
I think they can be a really strong pair, strong contender.
Yeah.
Araujo's been playing really well. She played really well with Ustero, getting good results. I think if you pair up Araujo with a beast of a forehand like Claudia Fernandez, who can build up points,
Yeah.
let her play her aggressive style, because Araujo is aggressive. She's got power. She's got a big smash as well. And, reducing the unforced errors on her partner's side.
Yeah.
Claudia Fernandez being, a more safe player. I think they can do some damage, man.
True.
I think they can do some damage.
I don't think they can push the top 2 though, top 3 even. And they might land themselves in the top 4
yeah,
or 5.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll
Who
see.
knows? These are all predictions for
Yeah.
next year anyway. But if we move on, Coki Yanguas.
So we've got Coki Yanguas splitting up.
Yes.
We've got Paquito Sanz splitting up.
Yes.
And we've got Momo and Fran Guerrero
Splitting
up. And also, I guess, Stupa and Di Nenno splitting up.
Yes.
So there's a bit of everything. So what's happening with that?
Should we pull up? We have our graphics here on the new pairs that were just announced.
Yeah. Like, confirmed. New
Yes.
pair. Out of all of these splits that are happening, we've got Yanguas and Stupa confirmed.
Yes.
Coming back together. They played together back in 2024.
Yep.
Then we have
Let's pull it up on your phone, and then we can do that. Because when we're recording this episode, guys, we just got a bunch of new updates. Basically, thank you to the fourth set, which is where he posted all of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, just because we're live and we're ready,
Yeah. Okay.
let's
So
get
we've
you to
got
run us through it here.
All right. So we've
Fresh
got,
off the
and-
press.
Yeah, and we've got actually many new ones.
That's what I was saying. I was like, this is not coming out of our memory here. Let's check it out.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Hugh,
So no more predictions. Let's do
drop
it.
it on me.
Let's start with Stupa Yanguas.
Yeah.
Stupa Yanguas confirmed, as we just said.
They're getting They used to play together as well, right? Stupa Yanguas?
Yeah, they used to play
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
We've got a very interesting one.
Hit me with
We've
it.
got Coki and John Sanz pairing up again.
There we
together.
go. The Barcelona
thing is,
Finals
I don't think
winners.
there was another option.
No, I'm okay
for
with
them. Coki Yanguas had to split up. Yanguas going with Stupa, good choice, and then Coki going back with John Sanz. I'll tell you what, before we get into the others, I do think it's a step up for, as in like when Coki was playing with John Sanz last year, I think that Sanz from 2024 to the Sanz of 2025 is very different.
Yeah, I totally agree
And
with
he has reached a higher
Yes.
level, which means
that. Very exciting.
that Paquito is now partnerless because Sanz they're separating with Sanz.
Interesting.
And interestingly, Paquito is now going to play with Fran Guerrero.
Damn.
Master,
Got a lot of power.
Master apprentice kind of vibe we got going there. I mean, I
Interesting.
think that's...
Can we also just touch on, you have some, maybe not some insider news, but between Paco and John Sanz,
I mean, yeah, on the
why
on the
did they
press
split?
conference, they asked them, and Paquito was like, I mean, ask him in like a jokey, funny way, but it's not because of results. And then John Sanz was like, yeah, it's not due to results that we're separating. He's like, it's because of he was kind of like beating around the bush, and he literally told him like, I don't want to tell you why exactly.
What?
Yeah,
Why are
he
they
said,
dropping this?
He said, I'm not gonna give you the exact reason, but there are just some things that need to change, kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be lower stakes than we think.
Right.
But obviously, like it can just be like some.
Why are they teasing us like that, bro?
Yeah.
Just tell us. What the hell?
Yeah, or maybe like I don't know. He was like, I want to look for a longer project, and Paquito doesn't have that long. I don't know. I don't know.
maybe
We'll see.
maybe that.
So we've got Paquito Guerrero, interesting pairing. Let's move on, and we'll talk about it now. Leal Cardona.
Wow. Okay. That has potential to be complete gas, man.
It has potential, but
You don't think it's going anywhere?
we'll get into it now. And the final one confirmed, Momo Di Nenno.
All right. I like that.
Look, Stupa Yanguas. Stupa Yanguas, good, decent. I think Yanguas gets that extra oomph that he needs that Coki didn't have with someone who's at least can, smash decently like Stupa. Both very quick. flimsy players, I
Yes.
think both, that can generate a lot of chaos in a game. Coki, Sanz, we've seen them play before again.
They are reliable, I think. As a pairing, you can put your trust in them that they're going to get to quarterfinals, semifinals.
With the advantage, I guess, of that they've played together before and that they know each other.
And as you said, version 2 of Sanz, maybe?
Version alpha of Sanz now might be a bit better.
Yes.
And obviously the consistency of Coki that is more consistent than Paquito, I would say, even though Paquito is very good, will give Sanz that extra room to risk.
Yes,
which he does. As we know, he gets a lot of winners, but also lots of unforced errors. Then we go into Paquito Guerrero. Paquito Guerrero, I think, is...
Do you think they're going to have as much success?
I think it's good for Guerrero.
Yeah, sure.
Because I do think he is one of... I really like him. I think he's someone to look out for as a forehand player in the future. He's got that Libanesque.
Libac-esque. Okay,
Libac-esque.
Yes. I do think Lebron-esque.
No.
Yeah.
Libac-esque style of these young players who are just very powerful on the forehand.
Yeah.
And yes, they do a lot of, the classic transition víboras, but their víboras are fucking stonky.
No, yeah.
And they also have, he can smash.
Yeah.
If he wants to. So, yeah, interested to see how that works out.
So many musical chairs have been moving already, and it's like one day after the Barcelona Finals. So now, of course, they want to be training as soon as possible with their new pairs. Mm-hmm. And all we have to do is hold on to these, not rumors anymore, but sort of new pairings and hope that they train hard over the winter break and they come back in February. When the first tournament is normally, I think, Saudi or something like that.
Yeah, I think they start in the Middle East.
See, I'm already getting excited for next season,
we see Cardona come back now.
Yeah.
He's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
And pairing up with Javi Leal, which actually leaves Bergamini as a question mark. Interesting. Right. Two powerhouses, two bulls, Cardona and Leal, but... I think the downside, I personally don't think this is a great matchup.
Why?
I think lack of experience. Leal is very, very, very emotional, man. And he kind of loses his mind a little bit and gets like really aggressive, emotionally speaking. And I don't know if Cardona knows how to deal with that. I think they're a bit too young and a bit of like loose cannons to be playing together, but they could surprise. It's kind of like an Augsburger Cardona when we saw them together, but I don't think Leal has Augsburger's level yet.
Right. Yeah.
Also, good pairing to look out for. And Momo Di Nenno, good, pretty standard.
Mature couple.
More mature couple. Momo's been playing at a high level. Di Nenno as well. I think they're a strong like mid-table contender that can maybe give a few surprises to the top players, some of the top pairings.
And
that leaves Bergamini as a question mark. We'll see.
Comments down below who's Bergamini playing with
and what do you guys think of
2026?
these new pairings? These are all confirmed now on the men's, on the women's side.
Wait, it just hit me. We have a 2-month break now, which we're going to be paddleless, guys. This is crazy, and we're at the end of the season.
Sad time.
I know, and we're almost at the end of the episode here as well, but... Yeah, I can't believe what a season we've had. If we want to reflect on it a little bit as well. It has been insane. It's been great to do our podcast episodes alongside this.
Actually, on you this, have one question for you.
What's the question?
I just want to know, what's one thing you want to see more of in 2026 Premier Padel?
Wow. One thing I want to see more of.
And you can kind of like, this is a very open question.
The default answer is that gap between, which we've said isn't that far, between Coello and Tapia. I want to see the 3rd, 4th, and 5th push even more on the men and women's side. All these new pairings that we're seeing, I want them to maybe not all work. That doesn't work out. But I want this gap between, especially on the men's side, between 1 and 2 and 3 onwards to close.
So maybe like a Lebron, Augsburger kind of finding their footing and pushing Chingalan or Coello.
Yeah, I just want more pressure. I want higher stakes. I want more unpredictable games.
More competitiveness on the men's side.
Yeah, and women's side. I'll give you that.
That's pretty good.
And that's what I wish. That's my Christmas wish for the 2026. What's yours?
I want
more smashes?
No, I want to see more... Okay, I want to see pairs staying together, man.
Yes.
Hopefully, look, I'll give you
That's a good one.
I'll give you like 2-3 months of the beginning of the season
Yeah.
to work it out. Maybe some don't work, some do. And I know it's a very difficult thing to ask for as a Christmas gift, because it's not up to the players. It's just up to the system around the tour that doesn't allow them to stay. And the whole ranking thing, we've talked about this a lot.
On it.
But I would
that.
hopefully like to see 2026 having pairs that stay together for. Dude, at least, more than 2 tournaments. You know what I mean?
True.
Like having a top 10 that isn't constantly moving and just keeping it that way for like a good 5 months.
Yeah.
And then and people being able to support their teams
and sink their teeth into it and hold on and not actually be like, what's happening? This person's playing with this person. Yeah, I completely agree with that. On top of that, more gifts on my Christmas list. I want a bigger crowd turnout for tournaments throughout the whole year. There's definitely some,
that might not be in like the paddle hubs of the world.
Exactly.
Right?
And I want to see more growth. I want to see more of a crowd turnout. I want to see more support for men and women's too. Because sometimes we don't get the support that we want on the women's side, and everyone rocks up just for the men's final. And I'm like, I get it, but no. The sport grows on both sides.
Let's get the sport to the next level.
Exactly. That's what I'm really excited for, to see paddle grow even more. Another year of paddle. That's my wish, really.
Yeah. And we've got some like cool things coming.
For off-court podcasts.
For off-court podcasts, the studio might be looking a bit different in 2026.
Yeah.
That's, we're not going to reveal anything else.
Exactly.
And some cool new ideas and plans we have for this next season and next year. So
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say. I think for now, all I want to say is thank you guys for essentially like 1 year of the Off-Court podcast. It's amazing. It's so fun. We love doing it. We love doing it for you guys. We love reading you in the comments, interacting with you, the Instagram side, the YouTube side, all of it's great. Bringing you, hopefully the paddle content that you guys want. And obviously we wouldn't do it if you guys weren't there supporting us. So please do, like, subscribe. It really does make a difference. Comment, interact, push the content. Because we really want to, keep growing with you guys. So just like a big thank you.
I share the same words with you, but to be able to share our love and excitement for paddle with, a whole community out here is really, really nice. And that's something that brings us a lot of joy. And that's something we want to continue doing. And we're going to do it.
Christmas miracle.
Yeah, the Christmas miracle, guys. Isn't this wholesome? Isn't this very sweet? But we just wanted to send some love and hugs and kisses your way.
And like a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. It's a jolly time for a lot of people, a lot of our listeners. So
let's do it. Should we rip a Christmas cracker?
Let's do it.
Is that bad luck to do? No, I think it should be
fine. I did it the other day on
channel band. Right. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Bloody hell, mate.
That's me. That's the winner. Right. And what did I get?
A brush. An angel.
A little angel.
Very sweet, guys. Hugh, you want to wrap it up? Our last episode of the season, Barcelona Finals, was incredible. It delivered. And we're here on our last episode of the year. We do have an episode coming out just for a little taster. It's an interview with a very, very cool guest, and that might come out in January.
Yes, but which is already filmed and all done. So that's
But no notes from me. Hugh, take us away.
Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Lots of love.
Yes.
And we will see you next year on the next one.
Take care, guys.